In this course, we'll discuss the procedures, tools, and special techniques used to perform a proper one-piece puncture repair on sound suppression tires. Today, we'll be using Tech's Uniseal Ultra Repair. Sound suppression tires are designed for electric vehicles, or EVs for short. These tires contain a special designed sound deadening foam material that helps reduce road noise for a quieter cabin. These foam inserts and the adhesive used to secure them to the inner liner of the tire create some new challenges to perform a proper repair. But don't worry, Tech has you covered with the procedures you need to properly repair sound suppression tires. To review, R represents remove the tire from the wheel and inspect. E stands for evaluate the injury. P, prepare the injury, and on sound suppression tires, this is where we'll need to do a little extra work. A is for apply vulcanizing fluid. I, install the repair, and R, return to service. The first step in proper tire repair is R, which stands for remove the tire from the wheel and inspect the tire. Removing the tire from the wheel also allows you to fully inspect the tire from the inside out and look for any non-repairable conditions. Remember, your role as a tire technician is to inspect and assess whether or not a tire is repairable or non-repairable, and most importantly, whether the tire is safe to return to service. Your inspection should include the bead area, the sidewalls, the tread area, and the inside of the tire. As you discover any injuries, mark them with a high-quality marker. When the tire is inspected, there are several conditions deemed by the tire industry guidelines as non-repairable conditions, and these include an injury greater than 1/4 of an inch for passenger tires or 3/8 of an inch for steel body ply truck tires, a tire that has been run flat or shows underinflated conditions, tire inner liner separations, tire casing separations, excessive tread wear, exposed body plies or cables, deformed bead or exposed fabric steel, ozone cracking, damage from impacts. Once you determine that the tire does not suffer from any of these non-repairable conditions, it's time to begin the second step in the process, which is E, and that stands for evaluate the injury. As you evaluate the injury to a tire, if the object that punctured the tire is still present, you need to remove it. This is the perfect time to visually examine the injured area of the tire. Before inspecting the injury in a sound suppression tire, you need to remove a small amount of the sound deadening foam from around the injury. To do this, use a sharp knife to cut through the foam roughly 2 inches both above and below the injury. Be careful not to cut too deep. This can result in damaging the tire casing and ruining the tire. Once the foam is cut, remove the section of foam from the tire. After the foam is removed, you'll need to examine the adhesive under the foam. The type of adhesive that is used will determine how to proceed with the repair. If the adhesive is strips of cured adhesive, like you see here, then the tire can be repaired in a similar fashion to a standard tire casing. If the adhesive is a tacky, uncured adhesive, as you see with this tire, then the procedure will have to be altered significantly. Once it's determined which type of adhesive is present, use Tech's TRT 105 inspection tool to quickly and precisely measure the size and the angle of the injury. The injury size and angle are 2 critical pieces you will need to select and install the appropriate repair. Please note, if the injury angle exceeds 35 degrees, a 2-piece repair must be used. 2-piece repair should only be used if the adhesive used to apply the foam was a cured adhesive that can be buffed. If, however, the adhesive is extremely tacky, the tire may need to be replaced as a 2-piece repair is not recommended. Remember, the injury size and location will also determine the repairability of the tire. To be considered a puncture repair, the injuries must be located in the crown area of the tire and not exceed 1/4 of an inch or 6 millimeters after preparation. If the injury does not fall within these limitations, the tire will need to be replaced. Once again, injuries in the shoulder and sidewall areas cannot be repaired with the Tech Uniseal Ultra Repair. In this example, the injury is less than 35 degrees and in the crown area of the tire, so a Tech Uniseal Ultra Repair can be used. Here we can see the injury has accepted the tool just below the second line. This calls for the use of a Tech 250 UL Uniseal Ultra Repair for 1/4 of an inch or 6 millimeter injury. The third step in the Tech process, which is P, prepare the injury. If you're working on a sound suppression tire with a cured adhesive, it is recommended to pre-clean the inner liner prior to buffing. If the adhesive is tacky, then cleaning the inner liner with a Rub-O-Matic is not recommended. This tire has a cured adhesive, so we will proceed with cleaning the inner liner. Spray or pour Tech Rub-O-Matic on the area to be cleaned, and while the area is still moist, use a rubber scraper to remove any contaminating substances. This process should be repeated 3 times to guarantee complete removal of contaminants such as silicone mold lubricants used in the tire's manufacturing process. Failure to remove these materials can lead to contamination of the repair area and possible repair unit failure. It will also help prolong the life of your buffing wheel by preventing buildup on the tool. Next, center the appropriate tech repair template over the injury and using a tire marker, trace around the edge of the template. Now the line you traced around the template will serve as a guide for mechanical buffing of the inner liner. If a template is unavailable, freehand trace an area 1/2 inch larger than the repair unit. This will ensure the buffed area is large enough for proper installation of the repair unit. If the tire has a tacky adhesive, the buffing step can be skipped. It is not possible to buff the tire when this type of adhesive is present, so we will have to move on to the drilling process with these tires. Mechanically buff within the marked area using a low RPM buffer. Make sure your buffer does not exceed 5,000 RPMs. If the speed of the tool exceeds 5,000 RPMs, scorching of the rubber surface will occur, which will greatly reduce the adhesion of the repair unit to the inner liner. Also, be sure to use an appropriate buffing wheel to achieve a number 1 or number 2 buff texture. Mechanical buffing ensures proper adhesion of the repair unit to the inner liner by creating a clean, textured surface. When buffing the inner liner, be sure to run the buffing wheel from side to side across the inner liner as shown. This will prevent cutting grooves into the inner liner and promotes better adhesion of the repair to the tire. After you've achieved the proper buff texture, we'll use the appropriate size Tech carbide cutter in a low-speed drill with maximum RPMs of 1200 to properly prepare the injury. This will also be the next step if the tire has a tacky adhesive. Now drill out the injury from the inside of the tire and repeat this process a minimum of 3 times. Next, repeat this procedure 3 times from the outside of the tire to ensure proper injury preparation. After drilling the injury on a tire with a tacky adhesive, it may be necessary to clean the carbide cutter afterward. To do this, simply take a wire brush to remove any adhesive that may be stuck on the cutter. The A in Tech's process represents applying the vulcanizing fluid. So let's get started. If the inner liner was buffed, you now need to remove any leftover debris using a soft wire brush on a low RPM buffer. Lightly brush from the right side of the prepared surface to the left side to remove loose buffing dust and steel shavings from the buffed surface. This is an important step to create a clean, prepared surface to maximize repair unit adhesion. You may need to repeat this process 2 to 3 times to ensure that all buffing dust and steel shavings are removed. Do not use a compressed air line for this procedure. The compressed air may contain moisture and oil that will contaminate the buffed surface. Now vacuum all buffing dust and steel shavings from the tire. Avoid contacting the buffed surface with the vacuum as this can contaminate your prepared surface, which will compromise repair unit adhesion. Next, whether you've buffed the inner liner surface or left the tacky adhesive alone, it's time to apply Tech 760 chemical vulcanizing fluid to the injury channel. Work the fluid into the injury from inside the tire using a spiral cement tool. When inserting the tool, be sure to rotate in a clockwise direction. This procedure should be repeated 3 to 5 times from both the inside and outside of the tire, depending on the thickness of the tire. Finally, you will leave the spiral cement tool in the injury from the outside of the tire to prevent the vulcanizing fluid from drying completely. If the inner liner was buffed, apply a thin, even coat of Tech chemical vulcanizing fluid to the buffed surface of the inner liner. And here's a tip. If the adhesive is tacky, do not apply vulcanizing fluid outside of the injury channel or to any unprepared surfaces. This could lead to contamination of the repair area and the can of vulcanizing fluid. You need to allow approximately 3 to 5 minutes for the vulcanizing fluid to dry. Additional drying time is required in cold and humid climates. Vulcanizing fluid must be completely dry before applying the repair to avoid trapping solvent under the repair, which could create air bubbles and ultimately result in the repair failing. Next, you will prepare the Uniseal Ultra Repair Unit for installation. Begin by removing the protective poly covering from the stem by twisting and pulling the stem to break the poly free. Next, reposition the poly on the repair to expose the center of the repair unit. A word of caution: touching the cushion gum will cause contamination that may lead to repair failure. This is why you will use the plastic piece as a place to hold the repair. Now apply Tech 760 chemical vulcanizing fluid to the black tapered area of the stem only. This ensures proper lubrication to make the insertion of the repair unit easier. If you're using a tire spreader, be sure to relax the tire beads to prevent what is known as bridging of the repair unit. Bridging creates areas where portions of the repair are not making full contact with the tire's inner liner, and this can lead to premature failure of the repair. You may now remove the spiral cement tool, then feed the lead wire of the Uniseal Ultra into the injury from the inside of the tire. Next, grasp the lead wire on the outside of the tire with a pair of pliers and carefully begin to pull the Uniseal Ultra into the injury. Pull until the repair unit seats against the inner liner. Be sure not to overpull. This will cause dimpling and possible breakage of the stem. Once the Uniseal Ultra is in place, press down on the center of the repair unit with your thumb. Now, using your stitcher, stitch the repair unit down, working from the center outward. This process removes any air which might be trapped between the repair unit and inner liner of the tire. Exert firm pressure on the stitcher to maximize adhesion. After partially stitching the repair, remove the colored poly from under the edges and continue stitching to the edges of the repair. After stitching is completed, make sure to remove the clear protective covering found on the cap of the repair as shown. Now you will go to the outside of the tire and cut off the Uniseal Ultra stem approximately 1/8 of an inch or 3 millimeters above the tire's outer surface. The Uniseal Ultra stem is now properly in place. When repairing a sound suppression tire with a cured adhesive, seal the edge of the repair unit and the overbuffed area with Tech number 738 Security Coat or number 739 Butyl Liner Repair Sealer. These repair sealers help to restore the air retention properties of the buffed inner liner beyond the area covered by the repair as shown. If you wish to reinstall the foam that was removed at the beginning of the process, apply the liner sealer to the entire area where that foam was removed. Then place the foam back in the tire and press it down for a minute or two. If the adhesive is still tacky, then the foam can be reinserted without the use of an inner liner sealer. So what all is entailed in returning the tire to service? Well, we have to remount the tire to the wheel, then balance the tire and wheel assembly, then install the wheel assembly to the vehicle following proper procedures, and if the vehicle is equipped with TPMS, relearn the system if necessary. Congratulations, you have completed Tech Sound Suppression Tire Puncture Repair course. On behalf of all of us at Tech Tire and Wheel, we appreciate you investing in our training and wish you great success as a trained tire repair technician. If you want to learn more about Tech's complete line of tire repairs, specialty chemicals, and all the tools used in our Tech training course, refer to the list at the end and contact your Tech distributor or visit techtirerepairs.com.